to Oak Ridge Bees. I'm Joe Newland, and I'd like to take a second to thank you for watching the video. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get notified when we post a new video. This first video is basically about swarm trapping. I know. Another swarm trapping video on YouTube. Imagine that. Well, I tried to make this one a little bit different. I've watched all the rest of them. I think I've watched them all. And there's a lot of content about building swarm traps. There's a lot of content about baiting swarm traps. There's a lot of content about talking about swarm trapping. Very few of videos about what to do when you catch a swarm, and about actually going out into the field, into the area, and trying to catch wild swarms. Now, I'm not trapping somebody else's apiary. There just aren't any in my area of the country in northern Indiana. There are a couple. There's one particularly large one, but I'm not trying to catch his bees. These are wild bees, and I'll show you some colonies that at least one wild colony that I know of that's pretty easy to film, that has been in existence for a long time, and that's the genetics that I'm after. I want those survivor bees. The northern Indiana winters can be pretty brutal, and I want those survivor bees, and so that's what I'm trying to trap. So this video will be more about actually putting the traps up. It's about locations. It's about some differences and some similarities. So hopefully there'll be something here for everybody. Appreciate you watching, and enjoy the video. I think you can probably hear the peepers, and I'm hanging swarm traps. So I've just put up the first one, and let me kind of show you what I got going on here. Let me see if I can figure out how to turn the camera around. Guess not. So here's what I got. That's a little patch of timber, kind of across from a pasture, a little swamp. So, and just inside the wood line, out of prying eyes, we have swarm trap number 1. So we'll leave this up here. It's all baited up, ready to go, and we'll check it in a couple weeks. Swarm traps today. This is number 2 here by the old abandoned church in the cemetery. One of these trees, actually, let's see if I can do it. This tree right here has this colony of bees living in it, and so right across the way in that tree right there, I've put a swarm trap. I've got another swarm trap set. It's right along this road, and this one I put up high enough that I didn't want anybody mucking with it. It'll take a ladder to get it down. There it is. Okay, I'm out here today hanging some swarm traps. It's early in the season for Indiana, and we're trying to get ahead of it. This is a little patch of woods here. I know that there's several wild colonies within a mile radius of this. One is a long-standing colony. So I came out here to hang a swarm trap. That's what I've done. So there it is. I think that's the 10th or 12th swarm trap that I have out. Don't hang them very high in a tree. I want to be able to get to them. I don't know if that hole's too big for bees, but it's stained around it like it might have bees in it, but they should be flying today. So here we go. All right, welcome back. Got a location for a swarm trap here. I'll kind of do a panoramic and put that over the top of the video here, but I thought it'd be interesting. I'll show you how I go about baiting up my swarm trap. I've got some used brood comb in there, some foundationless stuff, and got the box full of frames. I don't know how often I'll be able to come back and check this, but put a little bit of lemongrass oil in and around the entrance. Got a Ziploc sandwich bag here. It's kind of windy, so I've got to keep a handle on everything. A couple drops of lemongrass oil on a paper towel. I'll put that in here, and I'm going to seal it almost all the way up. Put that down in there. Got my lid. And I just, as a matter of precaution, probably overboard, but just a couple of screws in there to make sure that the lid doesn't blow off. That's that. That right in there. Now, next time we see each other, we'll be at the tree. So I've got this giant cottonwood tree, and that's where I'm going to put the swarm trap. I'll put it up not real high. I'm not a big fan of ladders and whatnot, but south is that way, so the entrance will be facing predominantly south instead up here without the bucket. Here we go. I'll find something to block the back of it. As you can see, it's tilted a little bit, so we'll find something to kind of block her off here. Thanks for watching. Okay, as I told you, we do a panorama. I don't know if you can see through that set of trees right there where the camera is looking. There's a lake, and then we'll just pan around here a little bit. hung a swarm trap on the biggest cottonwood tree in the bunch. It stands over the top. And as you can see, it's not very far off the road. It's 3 or 4 days later. It's the 14th of April. I guess it's a couple days later than the last time I was out hanging swarm traps. Had a pretty significant change of weather. Got down in the mid to upper 20s last night. And right now it's 35 degrees, but on my original swarm trapping video, I showed you where I hung a swarm trap pretty close to a long-term existing colony. And when I videoed the colony, I approached the landowner there that's got that colony of bees that's been in that same hickory tree for, she says, 36 years. I approached her about putting a swarm trap there on her property, and she was fairly reluctant to allow me to do that. But in talking with her yesterday and assuring her that if I do catch a swarm, that I would simply leave it there on her property, she gave me permission to put a swarm trap there. So kind of at the same time, not only did I get permission for a new swarm trap location, I also picked up another bee lot, a bee yard. So we're on our way over to place a swarm trap or two on that property. She knows that colony of bees swarms every year. She knows just about when it swarms. Keeps a pretty good eye on the place, and there have been some really large swarms in the past. She knows that there have been some after swarms, but those are much smaller, and she doesn't always see those. That colony has thrown up to 4 swarms in one season. So any place that's good enough for one trap is probably good enough for 2, especially since we're not going to be able to move our original bait hive out of the location, and we'll just be putting another one there so that subsequent or secondary swarms have a home as well. So that's what we're going to do. That's where we're going, and next time you see me, we'll be setting out a swarm trap. Okay, as I said, permission to put a swarm trap here. Our 36-year existing colony is right there. I'll show you a picture of that here in just a second. And in the meantime, got our trap set up here. I'm going to go ahead and use a 10-frame box for this. It's full of comb, and that way all I have to do when the swarm moves in to establish the colony here is just simply swap out the bottom board, and it can sit right here. South is facing that way. I took a Q-tip and I've swabbed the entrance here. I also I collect propolis out of my hives, and I have some propolis here. I scrub down the bottom board of the propolis. We've got sandwich bag, some paper towel, lemongrass oil in here. Set the 10 frame right on top. We have a 40-liter swarm trap. And I'll go ahead and put it on top cover on here. Now this particular cover has a top entrance as well. Got an 8-frame. entrance reducer on it. I am going to go ahead and block off that entrance with an entrance reducer. There we have it. Swarm trap is set, waiting. It's 35 degrees. Like I said earlier, we had a significant cool down, so I'll show you the hive here, the existing colony. All right, well, that wraps up our putting our swarm traps out for 2020. I'm just out here in the yard looking at how I'm going to treat the pond. Thanks for riding along with me as I put out my swarm traps. I'm sure glad to have you. Welcome to the channel. I know I mentioned it a couple different times, but if this appeals to you, go ahead, like and subscribe. We're going to check the swarm traps here over the next couple of months, probably several times, and we'll record catching the swarms and certainly record moving them over to their new homes. So again, thank you very much. This is Joe with Oak Ridge Bees, and get out and enjoy your bees.